Good evening and welcome to Sunset News. I am Diana Master, bringing you news, community stories, weather, economic news, and so much more this Tuesday evening. Now getting into tonight's news. The Health Ministry, with the support of the B2 Gold Mine earlier today, hosted a groundbreaking ceremony in Oshwarongo for the Umbili Clinic worth $6 million according to the mine. During the ceremony, B2 Gold Country Manager John Ruas said the clinic will be unveiled in November 2024 as construction kicks off. As we fast-track this project, we hope to partner with like-minded people, Ruas said during the event. Health Minister Kalumbi Shangula emphasized the importance of continued priority of investment in primary health care to make universal health coverage in Namibia a reality. As we work towards the realization of universal health coverage in Namibia, we must continue to prioritize investments in primary health care, which serves as the foundation of a comprehensive and responsive health system. The construction and upgrading of the Umbili Clinic means that more health services are brought closer to the people. It means that our people will no longer have to walk or travel long distances to access healthcare services, especially for ailments that can be treated and managed within a primary healthcare setting, Shangula said. A fully functioning Umbili Clinic will provide comprehensive healthcare services such as the expanded program of immunization, antenatal and postnatal care services, HIV and TB services, management of communicable and communicable diseases, dental care, as well as pharmaceutical services. Shangula added that the ministry received a total budget of 10.9 billion Namibian dollars this year, demonstrating the Namibian government takes the health and well-being of people seriously. Now, as a result of the material non-disclosures, the court cannot be satisfied as to their actual financial position and cannot make findings as to essential conditions for making an order for payment of legal costs. This is what the Prosecutor General Martha Imalwa claims in court documents in the case in which fish rot defendant Bernard Esau applies that a portion of his frozen assets should be made available to him so that he can pay his legal costs with it. Esau made the application in terms of Section 26 of the Prevention of Organized Crime Act. To succeed, it requires that the applicant Esau make disclosure under oath of his interest in property subject to the restraining order and that they provide a full sworn list of their assets and their expenses. The third condition is that the applicants must put this court in a position through their disclosure of income and expenses to convince them that they are unable to pay the legal costs other than through the release of assets subject to the restraining order. They didn't do that, claims Imalwa. In her answering affidavit, Imalwa claims that Esau failed to disclose all his financial information to the court. This includes the publication of monthly reports to curators and money generated by the sale of cattle. She claims that other financial information is still outstanding, such as a deposit of almost 1.7 million Namibian dollars from August 1st, 2022 to November 30th, 2023 into one of Esau's accounts. The applicants say that these payments into his standard bank account stem from the sale of cattle and that the curators are aware of this. However, Esau argues that his detention means he does not have access to his electronic device and therefore fails to account for payments. Theophilus Ngitila, the Executive Director of the Ministry of Environment, Forestry and Tourism, says that all stakeholders need to make a collective effort to ensure the safety of tourists visiting the coastal region. Have a look.
The Honorable Governor just indicated, passing the liners, the clients are of advanced age. They need our assistance from all of us if we are to benefit. When they dock, when they get out, they should feel safer. They should feel welcomed. We should improve also our custom services wherever they go. Either they are visiting in our malls. I would like to see security presence there. I went to the mall yesterday after the cruise ship arrived. I have seen the passengers there, a lot of them. It's good for our economy. If they spend $1,000, that money was never part of our economy. And it remained there here. And therefore, there is always direct, indirect benefits from activities of tourism. And therefore, collectively, we should really address this crime against the tourists.
Now, the Rundu Town Council has announced the launch of the rerouting of Marcus Siwarongo Road from a one-way to a two-way road, which is scheduled to take place on Friday. The council, after facing criticism from the Road Fund Administration in 2022 for its failure to utilize allocated funds for road improvement, took a decisive step towards addressing the long-standing issue of deteriorating roads. According to the Rundu Town Council's Chief Executive Officer Olavi Nathaniel, the council at its council meeting held on the 8th of March 2023 approved the rerouting of Marcus Siwarongo Road from a one-way to a two-way road. This intervention aims to address the issue of traffic congestion and enhance convenient movement to the business premises in the surrounding, he said. Nathaniel added that the installation of the right road markings, road signs and simulation of the traffic lights are currently underway, and at the final stages, hence the public remains a one-way until it is officially opened as a two-way. A total of 2.5 million Namibian dollars was budgeted for this project. The town spokesperson Benjamin Makai in February told the Namibian Sun about the commencement of a 16 million Namibian dollar road maintenance project on three major roads, namely Haingura Mise, Elizabeth Nepemba and Maria Mwengere. Makai said that most of the roads were damaged by the rain. Council has identified three major roads, namely Elizabeth Nepemba, Maria Mwengere and Haingura Mise, that are currently being rehabilitated, he said, adding that the funds to rehabilitate Elizabeth Nepemba and Maria Mwengere Street were acquired through RFA, while the 8.2 million Namibian dollars for Haingura Mise was sourced by the Rundu Town Council. After the rehabilitation of these roads, there will be a surplus which will be used to try and fix largely damaged roads by clearing out old tarred roads and tarring new ones. We also projected about 10 roads to be upgraded from sandy to gravel roads in our informal settlements. However, this will only be done once more funds are made available. But it is in the council's plans to upgrade some roads in the informal settlements, and we believe this will assist even in cases where the ambulances have to drive inland, Makai admitted. In economic news after the break, we zoom in on the high food shortage expected in Namibia this year. Stick around for the full details coming up right now. In economic news this evening, indications are that Namibia will experience a high food shortage, especially for staple cereal crops such as this financial year, and will require food imports from outside Namibia to cover the demand. Unfortunately, our neighbors on who we usually depend on too have received below normal rainfall, which significantly reduced their cereal production, said Agriculture Minister Kosh Schledwein. He said that this means that they will have to import cereals from other sources outside the SADC region. This in turn means that domestic food basket costs a lot for local consumers. Schledwein said this while addressing the ministry's annual planning workshop for the 2024-2025 financial year that took place this week. He said that the population growth in Namibia is putting pressure on resources such as land, agriculture and water. Now, Kosh Schledwein said that the population of Namibia has grown from 3.3 million up from 1.4 million at independence in 1990. That is more than doubling of the population. Schledwein said that this population growth puts pressure on all resources under the ministry's jurisdiction and that they must ready themselves to embrace this pressure. He said that it's common knowledge that about 70% of the Namibian population directly and indirectly depends on agriculture for their livelihoods. This is a reminder to us all to take this sector and its programs very seriously and thoroughly implement them. He said this year is marked by below normal rainfall with sporadic and erratic rainfall patterns, and that this impact is particularly felt in the agriculture sector, which is the mainstay and lifeline of the majority of the Namibian population in terms of their livelihoods. This is yet another manifestation of the reality of climate change and climate variability phenomena, which requires us to rethink our agricultural production systems and strategies, focusing on irrigation. Schlettwein added that all this causes a serious concern for government, primarily because of the erratic rainfall patterns that hamper the smooth implementation of the agricultural production programs, such as the dry land crop production program, which are entirely dependent on seasonal rainfall. We'll now take a look at the economic indicators. The Namibian dollar trades at 23.63 against the British pound, 20.20 to the euro, 19.01 against the US dollar, and 2 Namibian dollars and 63 cents buys you 1 Chinese yuan. All commodities are down, gold taking a dip of 0.36%, now trading at $2,373 US dollars and 34 cents per ounce. Stay with us. After the break, we get into our Community Talk segment.
eTicket, your online ticket solution for events and event marketing, bringing you ease of mind and making sure that your event gets out there. For more information, contact events@nmh.com.na.
You're still watching Sunset News. Now, the court is expected to deliver its judgment in a case brought by the PDM party against the Ministers of Agriculture and Finance, as well as the President, Attorney General, and the government, among others. On 15 August, PDM alleges that land that is being leased to the Russian billionaire Rashid Sadarov constitutes land ownership. Sadarov is said to have donated money to the Ministry of Agriculture to enable them to buy 18,000 hectares of land in the Dodabis area, only to enable the ministry to lease the land to him on a 99-year contract. Counsel for the various respondents are, among others, claiming that PDM has made this claim for political gain and that a 99-year lease does not constitute ownership, given that Sadarov would not be empowered to sell or lease the land. Take a look at this video.
Issue or important case where we really have the question of land in our country. It's a landmark judgment that will take place. We are looking at the hearing, how it is being argued, and we have so much faith in our senior counsel, Maraya JC. And I think the very important thing is that we are not against the Russian billionaire or Russian oligarch Sandrov for purchasing land for government. If he was doing that with the sole responsibility of assisting the government of the Republic of Namibia to resettle its landless people, that's no problem. But the whole issue is that you purchase land for government to resettle its people, and then you, the buyer, come back and say, now lease this land to me, and you have been leased land. So that is showing the whole problem of the transaction. And also, as we know, that Namibia liberation struggle was for land. And we currently are talking about people that are fighting for their customary land that they lost as far as the 1895 up to even the genocide of 1904, 1908, and also within the time of the South African illegal occupation of then Southwest Africa, which is Namibia now. So it's a very important case. We are happy how our council is approaching it, and we believe that the end of this case, and especially the judgment, will put either trust in our judiciary and also in our government systems, and also Namibians might have hope after this. And therefore I want us to call upon Namibians that this hearing is postponed to this coming Thursday. It's just a span of 3 days from now to continue with the hearing. I would like to invite Namibians from all walks of life with interest to learn civil societies, land pressure groups, traditional authorities that are the key constituents of land in this country, and any other interesting parties to say that this is not a PDM case. PDM has just become the mouthpiece and to defend the rights of the people of the Republic of Namibia when it comes to land that we have so much fight for. So let Namibian own this process, let Namibian own this case, and this case will determine where Namibia will be from here onwards on the issue of land in our country.
Yes.
And
after the break, we get into our international news segment, and tonight we look at the Electoral Commission of South Africa confirming that former President Jacob Zuma will appear on the ballot paper this year for the Umkhonto we Sizwe party. Stick around for the full details coming right up. Getting into our international news, the Electoral Commission of South Africa has confirmed that former President and current ANC member Jacob Zuma will appear on the ballot paper this year for the Umkhonto we Sizwe party. Zuma has been campaigning for the party for several months, with the ANC set to only start disciplinary processes against him after the elections. His candidacy has also been clouded by an objection that his conviction and sentencing for contempt of court disqualified him from running for a seat in Parliament. The Electoral Court last week set aside the IEC's decision to bar him from the ballot. The IEC has taken the matter to the Constitutional Court and on Tuesday confirmed Zuma would be on the ballot. 4 people are being treated for non-life-threatening injuries after a stabbing at a church service in Sydney on Monday, emergency services said. Australian police said that they arrested 1 man. The incident came 2 days after a man with a knife killed 6 at a shopping mall in the east of the city. A video stream showed Monday's gruesome attack at an Assyrian church unfold in real time. The video showed a man dressed in black approaching a bishop at the dais, raising his right arm and slashing at the preacher with a knife, prompting panic and screams among the congregation. Several people appeared to rush to help subdue the attacker. The ambulance service told AFP that 4 men aged between 20 and 70 were being treated for injuries, including lacerations. The injured individuals suffered non-life-threatening injuries and were treated by New South Wales ambulance paramedics before being conveyed to a hospital, police said. A male was arrested and remains in police custody. Police urged the public to avoid the area. Australians are still reeling from Saturday's stabbing, which was carried out by a 40-year-old man with a history of mental illness. A fire has engulfed Copenhagen's former stock exchange, one of the oldest and most well-known buildings in Denmark's capital, causing its spire to collapse onto the roof. The historic 17th century construction, also known as Bossen, had been under renovation when the blaze broke out on Tuesday. Ambulances rushed to the scene as huge billows of smoke rose over central Copenhagen, but there were no immediate reports of casualties. The cause of the fire was initially unclear. "We are witnessing a terrible spectacle," said the Danish Chamber of Commerce, which had used the building as its headquarters in recent years. Television footage showed people carrying away a number of items, including historical paintings. The Dutch Renaissance-style structure houses a large art collection, including the famous 19th century oil painting from Copenhagen Stock Exchange by P.S. Krøyer, which was removed by several people. Culture Minister Jacon Engel Schmidt said it was touching to see how passers-by helped emergency services to save art treasures and iconic images from the burning building. Police said they were evacuating nearby buildings in the street, including the Ministry of Finance. An annex of the Danish Parliament, which is located in the block behind the old stock exchange, was also ordered to evacuate, Danish media reported. Now let's take a look at the weather predictions just before we get into our entertainment news. Ariamsvlei can expect clear conditions. We'll take a look at the Windhoek weather predictions. Windhoek can expect clear skies and sunny weather. Maximum temperatures expected to hit 29 degrees and minimum temperatures expected to hit 13 degrees Celsius. Meanwhile, Ruakana can expect partly cloudy weather. Maximum temperatures expected to hit 36 degrees Celsius, while minimum temperatures could drop to as low as 23 degrees Celsius. Ariamsvlei can expect clear weather conditions. Maximum temperatures of 30 degrees Celsius are expected. Minimum temperatures of 16 degrees Celsius are expected. Meanwhile, over at the coast, still sunny skies expected. Maximum temperatures expected to hit 25 degrees. Minimum temperatures expected to hit 14 degrees Celsius. In entertainment news tonight, the hit series Fallout, now available on Amazon Prime, features scenes shot in Namibia's eerie Kolmanskop, a ghost town that once was a thriving diamond mining hub. Starring Ella Purnell, Walton Goggins, Sarita Koduri, Aaron Martin and Kyle MacLachlan among the cast, the show adds to Namibia's growing list of big screen appearances, including the iconic Mad Max Fury Road. We now head over to the sports desk, courtesy of SportRab. Stay around.
Welcome to What's Cooking, where culinary passion meets expert insights.
Somebody must really want to cook and want to cook good food.
Immerse yourself in the bustling world of professional kitchens as top chefs create mouth-watering dishes. Join us for in-depth interviews as our host explores the experiences and expertise of our guest chefs. Don't miss out. Tune in to What's Cooking on NTV every Friday at 2100 hours and let the culinary adventure begin.
Good day everyone, time for international sports news, starting off with soccer news first. It's soccer news from the English Premier League, and Chelsea played against Everton, and it is Chelsea that had a big win. They beat Everton by 6-0, and it is Chelsea that remain in number 9 position on the English Premier League log, but very close to number 8 and 7, and of course the top 8 go through to play in European competitions. It is Chelsea at the moment with 47 league points after 31 games, and after 33 games it's West Ham with 48 points, and also Manchester United in 7th position. They've got 50 points after 32 games, so quite tight for that fight for the top 8 position in the English Premier League. There was also a strange scene in the game between Chelsea and Everton. It was an argument between Nicholas Jackson and Donny Madueke, and that was when Chelsea had to take a penalty. In the end, it was Cole Palmer that took the penalty, and he also scored the goal in the 64th minute, and Cole Palmer scored 4 goals in the win of Chelsea over Everton by 6-0. Everton battering now. They are in 16th position with 27 league points, just 2 above the relegation zone. On to tennis news, and it is on the WTA women's circuit. It is the Stuttgart Open that's starting this week, and the top 4 seeded players in world tennis will all 4 play in the tournament on clay. Number 1 seed Iga Swiatek, and then number 2 seed Aryna Sabalenka. The number 3 seed in the tournament will be Coco Gauff, and then Elena Rybakina. She's the number 4 seed in the tournament. Already Aryna Rybakina knows that who she will play in the round of 16. All 4 of these top 4 players will play only in the round of 16 first. Aryna Sabalenka will play against Paula Badosa. It was Paula Badosa that beat Diane Chander by 6-3 and 6-4 to go through to the round of 16. And closing off today's international sports news with motor racing news, it's Formula 1 racing. It's the Chinese Grand Prix this coming weekend. Again, Max Verstappen the favourite to win, but Max Verstappen said that the circuit might not be as favourable for the Red Bull cars as in previous weeks, and that's because the Shanghai street circuit is a street circuit, and the street circus has not been so kind to Red Bull, but they've still been winning, but not that far. So at the moment, Max Verstappen leading by 77 points, Sergio Perez on 64 points, Charles Leclerc in his Ferrari 59 points, and Carlos Sainz Ferrari also on 55 points. So Ferrari chasing Red Bull. It is Mercedes-Benz battling Lewis Hamilton, for instance, in 9th position only with 10 league points, and the team principal of Mercedes-Benz, Toto Wolff, said that no one will catch Max Verstappen this year. He said the driving and the car is currently spectacular. That's the international sports news for today. Hope you have a great sport day, and we talk international sport again tomorrow. Goodbye.
And with that, we've reached the end of the broadcast. Make sure you join Sunset News on Facebook and all the NMH platforms on weekdays and on Sundays, as well as on our website, 1up2.com. Sunset News screens on DSTV channel 285 and GoTV channel 25 every weekday from 7:30 to 8 p.m. I am Diana Master, and this has been Sunset News. Don't end your day without us.